Hey guys, Nate Madsen. I'm back with another vlog. This one's gonna be quick. It's all about spotting a good deal versus a bad deal. Coming up next. Alrighty, so I haven't done one of these vlogs in a while. Life has been a bit crazy. I've got pictures and frames over here in my studio because the hallway is being painted, so my studio has become a catch-all. That happens. It's summertime, so just a moment ago, my kids and my wife and my dog were running up and down the hallway, giggling, screaming, playing, doing what people who don't have to work do. And that's great. I love hearing that kind of chaos, but yay summer. And I also have glasses because I'm definitely not old. But yeah, I've got computer glasses that I'm reading now and I'm wearing now. And yeah, I actually kind of like them, but I have the whole doing this all day thing when I'm actually not looking at the computer or not reading. So definitely feeling a bit older there. But what I want to talk about is a real world example, a case where I came across a job offer that in my opinion wasn't good. And I voiced that on this Facebook group that it was posted under. And I had some people say, well, you don't know the industry. And they even claimed I was being like a snob. And then I had the actual person who posted the job come back and give some clarification. And while they were polite, they seemed like a perfectly lovely person, and I think they have the best intentions at heart, I still don't think it's a good deal. And I want to explain why. And then I want to hopefully give you all some ideas of what to look for, what to have some red flags about, so you can spot a good deal versus a bad deal. So let's jump into the specifics here. I need to kind of lay the foundation. This was for a film project, unpaid. Now, I've seen those all the time. I see unpaid film projects just about every day. And I understand that like as your career changes, as your stature changes, what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept will also evolve. So early on in my career, I was just looking for work, anything. And I didn't really care how much it paid. I just wanted to be able to prove myself and have stuff on my demo reel and have stuff on my resume. That's what I cared about. As I've grown through my career, I've gotten more picky about what kind of projects am I going to do? What kind of topics, subject matter am I going to be involved in? What quality of projects am I going to do? All those things have evolved, as well as my price point, frankly, has gone up. So nowadays, I don't have the same kind of open, hey, I'll just take whatever. Instead, I really refine, I look through the options I have, and I say, is this going to be the best opportunity for me to continue my career forward and to push my brand and my name, my work forward and elevate it? Or is it kind of a plateau? Or even worse, is it a step down? Those are kind of things you want to think about. But let's dig into the nuts and bolts of this deal and why I think it was bad. So this guy was offering unpaid work, and then they said their selling point was, you'll get your work on streaming services, but we'll just need a little tiny cut of your earnings from streaming and album sales. Well, are your red flags going up? They should be. If they're not, here's why they should be. If you've not done any research, things like Spotify have very, very low payouts. You have to get a ton of streams in order to have any kind of sizable chunk of money. So I've done a little bit of research. I've seen numbers as high as 0.005 and as low as 0.003. It fluctuates. To be honest, I don't know why it does, but those are the numbers I'm seeing all across just looking up some research on how much does Spotify pay out. So they have a handy dandy calculator that you can do on this website. I'll link it in the description. So if you get 1,000 streams, then when the payouts happen, which we'll talk about that in a second, your grand total will be $4.37. You know, I don't know if that can even buy a Happy Meal these days. If you get 10,000 streams, you're going to get $43.70. And if you get 100,000 streams, you're going to get $437. So the likelihood of getting 100,000 streams is pretty hard to do. There's a lot of noise out there, no pun intended. A lot of people releasing stuff on Spotify. And so it's easy to just be lost in the haze of so many releases. But let me talk about the time frame too. Spotify, other services, storefronts like iTunes, Amazon, they can take 3 to 4 months, sometimes longer, to list either your royalties or to list out your album sales and then to pay those things out to whatever service you're using to get that distribution happening. So you have to think about this too. This person wanted to say, I'm going to have you work for free, use our music in my film, and I'm going to put it on streaming services. And they said, I want to take a tiny portion of your earnings and invest that back into you. Now think about it this way. Let's just say it's 50%. I don't know what percentage. This person didn't say how much they wanted to take of your royalty earnings and album sales. Let's say it was 50. 50-50. After 3-4 months, they would basically take $21.50, give or take a little bit, of your earnings if you got 10,000 streams. And they would invest that into you. They're spending $21, $22 worth of a promotion and marketing into you. Well, how much marketing and promotion impact is $22 going to have? Not much. And it also took 3-4 months for that to happen. This is why it's not a good deal. This is why, in my opinion, it's not really worthwhile. Most artists I know that I've talked to, and in my own situation, I would much rather budget, squeeze some money out somewhere else, where I can say, I'm going to invest my money into the marketing when I need to, when the song comes out, not 3-4 months later. And that way I can get the most bang for my buck and hopefully get some more exposure, that kind of thing. The other thing you have to be careful about is there's certain kind of services out there, either bots, fake streams, fake follows, whatever, that can actually harm your Spotify standings and can have you be pulled or have you have, less ranking, that type of deal. You want to be careful. The other thing is, even if they are real people, what happens if, for example, you do death metal folk music or whatever. That's your style. That's your bag, right? And you're writing music in that style, death metal folk music. But then that promotion sends your music to a whole bunch of listeners that like classical music only. Well, they're going to listen to your stuff and go, this is death metal folk music. I don't want to listen to this. I want to listen to classical. I want to listen to Beethoven or Mozart. So if the audience that they're promoting you to doesn't match up, then it's not going to be worthwhile anyway. I got some flack when I posted this is not necessarily a good deal. I even had some people say, you're just an industry snob. One person said, well, you've just been around for a while and you've made it. You don't remember what it's like to be starting out. I tried to assure them I definitely do. I've been there. I've been the hustle. And here's the other thing, the misconception. Some people think, okay, well, if you've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, in my case, I've been doing it for almost 17 years. There's this notion of, well, you've made it. You don't have to hustle. That's false. You do have to hustle. You do have to hustle. You have to work just as hard because remaining current, remaining relevant, having exposure, putting stuff out there, you're constantly having to create, you're constantly having to manage your online social presence, your brand presence, you're having to predict and try and know the trends coming up. It's constantly trying to get up and surf this wave that's ever changing behind you. That makes it difficult. I mean, yes, there are some advantages I have to being a 16-year veteran and having some foundation, having some experience, having things to point back to. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm not trying to be a snob. I'm trying to educate those who are starting out saying, yes, you gotta be hungry and you might need to take on whatever you can take on, but try and be discerning. At least if you're gonna work for unpaid work, here are my 2 little things to consider. And then I'll be done yelling at you guys. The first thing is this: try to make it always some kind of exchange. If your client can't pay, and I get that, I've been there where I didn't have money to pay someone I wanted to hire to do something. We made an exchange. For example, one time I hired an artist recently, and instead of paying them, they said, hey, I need some music. I was going to pay them, but they said, hey, I need some music. I was okay, cool. So they did the artwork for me, and I wrote a music theme for them. Perfect. There you go. Now, one little tip about the exchange of services is try and make them as much as they can be one-to-one, equal. If your job's going to take 3 hours, try and make sure whatever work they're doing and as payment for you is going to be roughly 3 hours. It might be impossible to make it to a pure one-to-one, but what you want to avoid is if your job's going to take 10 hours and they're going to be able to do theirs in 2, is that really even? No. Okay? And vice versa. You don't want to be like, man, I'm going to make them carve me a marble statue of David. And I don't know why I picked that accent. And then you're going to get their job. You're going to get the work for them done in 2 hours, and it's going to take them 35 hours. That's not fair either. Try and make it fair. But the other thing to consider is this. So if you're going to work for free, okay, try and make an exchange of services. And number 2, I always advocate, if you're working for free, if you make that choice, always try and say, I'm going to retain rights to the music or content I'm creating. You'll have the license to use it in your video game, in your film, in your project, stage production, whatever the medium is. Be very clear with them. You'll get to use it, and then however you promote it, you'll get to use it that way with, these things will be married. If it's a film and you want to use my main theme in the trailer, go for it. I have no problem. But what I really want to caution you against is when clients will say, I can't pay you, but to work with me, I have to be able to own everything you create for me. I'm not paying for it. That's bad. That's a really, really bad deal. So if you're going to work for free, consider those 2 things. Try and make an exchange. Try and keep the rights to your stuff because you're not getting paid for it, man. It's yours. You own it. And then be on the lookout for good deals. You know, like one more thing I didn't really say about this person, the production company's deal, was not only would it take a lot of streams to get any kind of tiny bit of money, but it would take so much time that they would probably have to stagger composer after composer to build up any kind of sizable money to be able to do any kind of decent promotion. And then what are the options there? Because what if the style of music is so varied that they can't really do like a shotgun promotion where they group these artists together and say, I'm promoting all these people, and using the streaming and the album sales from all these people to do a big group promotion? What if there's such a varied group that doesn't make sense to have them lumped together? Those are some things to think about. I hope that's helpful. Again, I'm not trying to be a curmudgeon. Oh, get them along. I'm not trying to be the old grumpy guy. What I'm trying to do is say, be picky, be discerning, protect your work, protect your time, because you're worth it, and your work is worth it too. If you like what I'm doing, if you like these videos, please hit like, subscribe, comment, throw me a question. What experiences have you had with clients where it's a good deal or a bad deal? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.